guys, come on in. More sponsors. UBM proudly presents Warriors. You have just tuned in to Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello, you guys.
Warriors Talk is a platform to address cancer as well as other diseases are running rampant throughout our country, and how we can move away from awareness to taking action. Warriors Talk will empower listeners by keeping them informed, connected to services, and encourage them to thrive while surviving.
Hello. You are tuned in to Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell here on UBM Radio, your station for faith talk and music. As always, I'm excited you have tuned in today. It is Motivational Monday, and we have an interesting topic today. It is called Breaking the Cycle. And today's show is actually being sponsored by Emmanuel Church of God in Christ. We are located at 3058 West Van Buren in Chicago, where my pastor is Michael A. Richardson, and they are one of my top sponsors on the show. So you can go to emmanuelkojic.com and check out our service information. And at Emmanuel, we are building up on a solid foundation. I encourage you to stay connected with me on all forms of social media. I am on Instagram, Periscope, Twitter, and Facebook. All you have to do is type in at Warriors Talk 1. You can email me at warriorstalk1@gmail.com. You can also stay up to date on all our information just by going to the website, and it's warriorstalk.org. You can also follow me on Spreaker. That's Spreaker.com. I'll follow you back. You can follow my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just type in Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. Now, we would always love to hear from you. All you have to do is call in. We value your opinion. 312-754-4333. This show is dedicated to Women's History Month. So to all of you ladies out there that are hardworking and that makes it look so easy day after day, we salute you. Our healing verse is coming from 1 John 5:14-5. And we are confident that he hears us whenever we ask for, whatever we ask for, that is pleasing to him. And since we know he hears us, when we make our requests, we also know that he will give us what we ask for. Amen. And that's 1 John 5:14-5. So all you have to do is ask, and it shall be given. Again, our topic today is breaking the cycle. And I have a very special guest on the phone today. She is calling in all the way from Texas. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce her. She is a 40-year-old wife, mother of 2 beautiful children, who resides in Texas. She's currently a supervisor at the United States Postal Service for the last 11 years. And she was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer August of 2017. And on this journey called life, she learned that trials turn into triumphs. She is embracing her new normal, and she has a new appreciation for life. She has made it her business to inspire others, and also she wants you to know that we are conquerors and we will overcome. So welcome to Warriors Talk, Chanel Evans William. Hello, Chanel.
Hi there. How are you, Lady ReShell?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. How's the weather in Texas?
Oh, it's nice today. It's about 71 today.
Oh, man. That's just so not fair. So not fair. We're getting there. So Chanel, I'm so excited that you have agreed to share your journey with listeners. I know that many are going to be blessed. They're going to walk away just ready to take action. And we're going to be talking about breaking the cycle. And Chanel is one of the ones who are breaking the cycle in her family. She's speaking out and she's letting everybody know that you do not have to suffer in silence, and that it's important to communicate with family members exactly what's going on in the family. So Chanel, on today, I want you to share your journey.
Okay, absolutely. And I appreciate being invited. Thank you very much. Let's see. Let's go back to August of last year. I noticed a lump on my left breast. Actually, probably noticed that lump maybe a month prior to that, so that would have been around July. But it was around cycle time, so, we kind of go through those changes, so I really didn't pay much attention to it. But in the midst of all that, I started experiencing these chest pains and, odd things were going on with my body. And finally, in August, it was around maybe the 7th, I was off work and resting and taking a nap, which is something I ordinarily don't do just because I didn't feel well. I started having these crazy pains again. And so I told my husband we were going to go to the UR, which we did. They checked my heart. Nothing was wrong there. Just couldn't figure out what was really going on with me. So again, I get home and this lump surfaces again. Mm-hmm. So I'm freaking all out. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? I've got everybody feeling. I don't want to have my neighbor feel, girl, does this feel like a lump to you? So she given me a number to a guy because at that time I didn't have a doctor. I've been in Texas for about 5 years, and I really don't care for the healthcare system here compared to Chicago. I guess I was just a little spoiled with rush. So it's hard to trust doctors. Mm-hmm. So I called that physician, and make a long story short, I was a new patient, so it was going to be 30 days before they could see me back. So now I'm getting upset because everybody I call it seems like it's going to be a wait, and I'm just like, this doesn't make sense. I'm telling you I have a lump on my breast, you telling me it's going to be 30, 40 days before I can see a doctor. Like, who does that? Right. It's just kind of crazy. So one of my coworkers happened to call me in my frustration. I was crying and just flustered. And so she said, well, did you try calling the clinic over here by the job? And I'm like, I just got all about this clinic. So I called them, and they were able to get me in the same day. I went in, I got the exam, and the PA, her name was Hannah, she referred me in for my mammogram. Well, they called me the very next morning, so now we're talking Tuesday morning, about 8-ish, and she says, well, I can get you in today if you can be here by 10 o'clock. So South Lake's probably about maybe 30-minute drive from where we live here in Saginaw. And I said, fine, I'll take it, let's figure out what's going on. So I drive out there, we do the mammogram. After doing the mammogram, now they want to do an ultrasound. And so after the ultrasound was done, it was just questions that the radiologist was asking, kind of indicated that she really thought something was wrong. And, that is a lot. So they kind of tell when they look at it, but, we can't say that that's what it is because we've got to do other tests and things like that.
Now, how old were you? How old were you, Chanel, when you went in to get this done?
I was 40.
Okay, so have you had any previous mammograms? Because that is the age.
Right, and now see, that's the recommended age for women to get mammograms. However, I've always kind of disagreed with that. My mom was a breast cancer survivor as well, and so was my grandmother and my great-grandmother. Okay. And so in the midst of all of this, after my mom had been diagnosed, I did have mammograms. And so I'm supposed to go every single year and have them done, starting at, about 34. Okay. Is when I started having mammograms. Okay. So I had my last mammogram the year that I moved from Texas, Chicago to Texas in 2012 was the last time I had a mammogram. Okay. So shame on me. But moving forward, I'm working, you get consumed with everything, so you kind of put yourself on the back burner, not really taking care of yourself. And getting your checkups regularly, which is me, kind of hard-headed. My mom would always ask, and I'd be like, I'm going to get around to it, and getting around to it and everything like that. So, I had the mammogram. I saw Dr. Benjamin, I think that Wednesday. She's given me a referral to a surgeon. They got me in. I got to see them on that Thursday. And then she had also referred me to another doctor who was going to do my biopsy that Friday. So, it was kind of busy that whole week. Doctor's appointments almost every single day. Well, come that Monday, which was August 14th, I was supposed to see the surgeon again. By this time, they were thinking that, we'd at least have some preliminary something from the biopsy. And when I went in, I was given the diagnosis that I had stage 2B breast cancer. And I was also HER2 positive. So that was kind of overwhelming.
Can you explain to them, Chanel, what that means?
Basically what that means is that being HER2 positive means that I tested positive for a protein that we all tend to produce, some just more than others.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have cancer, those proteins, and just like your estrogen levels, because they also check you for hormonal levels, whether it's estrogen or progesterone, because we all produce that as well. So some cancers can be hormonal positive.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, I was in all three areas. I had the HER2 positive protein. I also tested positive with the estrogen and progesterone. Whereas you have some women who may be triple negative, where they don't have any hormones playing a factor or feeding their cancer.
Right, that was
me.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, they pretty much had a regimen kind of set and ready to go for someone in my situation. Even though it was still fairly early stage, I wasn't a candidate for a lumpectomy because I had actually 2 tumors in the left breast. The one that I noticed and was able to feel and was actually visible just looking at, that one was a little over 4 centimeters, and the one that was at the bottom of the breast was about 2.5.
Wow.
So I ended up having bilateral mastectomy, and that was by choice, just paranoid.
So normally, right. So you have this family history of breast cancer in your family, and you decided to start getting tested early, which we know that you're supposed to start getting tested 10 years before a family member is diagnosed in your family. So I was diagnosed at 43, so my girls will start getting tested at 34. So you did the right thing. You started getting tested early because they recommended you start getting tested at 40. So you were being vigilant, going in, getting it done, and then life happened. Life happened, and you got off track. But you still found your own lump. And normally that's how it's done. Normally the woman finds her own lump and the doctor confirms it later.
Correct.
So when you found out, let me ask you this, because you had a mom that went through. So you had a mom, a grandmother, and then who else?
And my great-grandmother, my grandmother's mother.
So a mom, grandmother, and great-grandmother, and then here are you, 4 generations, and all breast cancer?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, all breast cancer. Okay, so you're the 4th generation. Let me ask you this, what was going through your mind when they were going through? Like, what was going through your mind? Like, oh my goodness, did it cross your mind like this could happen to me?
Well, if I go back to like when my great grandmother was going through, I was really, really young, so I don't really think I fully understood it, what was happening with her.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother was more private with it, and even still I was, probably maybe 13, 14, somewhere around that teenage years. And I really wasn't paying much attention either. But with my mom, on the other hand, it was like front and center.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, it's just me and my mother,
Right.
So, to watch her go through that, it's a heartbreaking experience. You see the aches, the pains, the good days, the bad days, how those medications beat the body down,
Yes.
the side effects and things like that. And so I got to experience all of that firsthand with her. However, I think that was always a part of me who felt like, I may somewhere down the line deal with something like this. I mean, it's a possibility. It's a very real possibility, even though testing says otherwise.
Right. So talk about that testing, because a lot of people rely on that test. That's the BRCA test for to test if you test negative or positive if it runs in your family. So talk about that test.
Okay, well, after getting a diagnosis, and as I said before, the radiologist early on was asking a bunch of questions about family history. And so after I saw my surgeon, we talked about genetics testing and things like that in the BRCA 1 and 2. And she asked if my mom had done it, but she didn't. And so we figured I would be a good candidate for it because of, being the fourth generation and what have you. So I took the test, and we waited, about 2.5 months before you get results almost. And when I got the results back, it was actually negative, which was really shocking to me considering I'm the fourth generation to actually have breast cancer in my family. So I went to counseling, genetic counseling, where I talked with the geneticist, and so she kind of explained a little bit more in depth, saying that even though the test was negative, that does not mean that there's still not a family history or some sort of genealogical thing here, simply because they only isolate for certain genes, but we have a bunch of them. So they're really still not sure what genes do what with, each person. So here we are.
Here we are. I remember my doctor telling me that tests have not even been invented yet for the amount of genes that are out there that they haven't tested for yet. And to me, yes, to me, that's kind of scary just to think. My purpose is then why even do the test? Why even put me through this test if it's not going to cover all of the genes? And I'm going, after you do the test, you still have to approach it the same exact way as though you really never even have taken that test. And you're just going to go on. I'm just going to warn my family because I want everybody to err on the side of caution and just to make sure that they take care of themselves and they're watching out, and making sure that they taking these milestone mammograms or tests that you need to take for cancer. So it's like what's the purpose of this test if it's not really giving me an accurate picture of what we're looking for? It's to me
really charging no price.
Money.
Yeah.
It's money.
Yeah, but I mean that's pretty much like everything you go through, even with treatment. After all of this time, you still have 1 in 9 women will still be diagnosed with breast cancer. And it's been years and years and years and years and years of research. So it's all about money at the end of the day. But, we just have to think positive, find things to keep busy, eat healthy, do the right thing, and advocate. And that's just the best thing to do.
That is the best thing to do. Now, going through this, so you had to be the support. I'm assuming your mom had to be the support for your grandmother?
Yeah, well, my grandmother, it wasn't that bad. She did a few cycles of chemo early on, and she was fine. They put her on, I believe it was tamoxifen, I think.
Okay.
And she's been good to go.
Wow.
My mom, on the other hand, it was a whole nother realm of things. She was late stage when she was diagnosed. She was actually stage 4B.
Oh, okay.
So my mom has one heck of a testimony there.
Wow.
And by the time we found out, the mass was so big. It was the invasive carcinoma was just growing. Like it was crazy. Within a matter of a week, we went through a mastectomy, which was just difficult to watch, and I just couldn't even imagine at the time. Like, I couldn't imagine losing my breast, But now it's just like, okay, well, to survive, I've got to give them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I've just kind of looked at it that way. I haven't really been sad about it, but you are missing something, and so there is that void there, but then it's just the way your mindset is and how we process things. And so I'm like, they gotta go. They tried to kill me. You know what I mean?
They betrayed you.
Yeah, they did.
They did. How important, Chanel, how important was it for you to leave that hospital whole? Because that's the thing with women. That's why most of them want to opt for the reconstructive at the same time. Not all of them. So I'm speaking for some. I heard a lady say, I had a husband at home, so I left with 2 breasts. I was coming back with 2 breasts. And it's important because we know men are visual. And we want to feel like a woman, and that's part of our woman parts that make us feel sexy. So how important was it for you to just feel whole, just leaving there? Or what is your definition of feeling whole, should I say?
Well, for me, being whole is being, healed
Yes, yes.
Spiritually renewed, mentally renewed, like everything, just like a refresh. That's what it means to be whole to me.
Yes.
With breath, without breath, I'm still Chanel. You know, and I'm learning. I think I'm probably stronger than a lot of people. In the way that I think it's just different. You know, like I said, I feel like they betrayed me. Like, you know, really. I asked my husband his thoughts, you know, and how he felt because yeah, I do have a husband, and like you said, they are visual, and you know, you the girls and stuff,
and they should be included in on a decision as well.
Absolutely. He's walking his journey with me.
Yes.
You know? So, he was very supportive. You know, it's like, hey, whatever you want to do. You know, we talked about, you know, the reconstruction, you know, right away. I was also thinking about radiation, which is what I'm going through right now, and how, you know, how that will lead to treatments and things like that. And so I just kind of decided, like, you know what, I'm just going to go without the bread. We can go ahead and do these 33 rounds of radiation, get it out of the way, you know, take my time to heal. I can shop around for me a new set, and then I'll be ready, you know?
Wow.
So that's pretty much how I looked at it.
Wow. So the key word, the key phrase that I heard you say was take your time to heal. And I think a lot of times when we go through this journey, we're rushing or we have tunnel vision because we just want it to be over with. But at some point in time during that journey, you have to stop and take a step back, and you have to take time to heal mentally, physically, as well as spiritually. And I think sometimes we don't give ourselves a chance to do that because we just want to get back to what's normal. Or, as you mentioned, it's our new normal.
Right. And when I said that, you know how when you go through chemo, your body goes through all these different transformations, and, you know, the cells are dying. And so you either develop strange things or, you know, there's always something different. So, for example, you know, the neuropathy with the nerves.
Yes.
That. So I deal with that with my, you know, my hands and my feet and stuff like that, and swelling and just, you know, weird things that I ordinarily didn't deal with prior to having been diagnosed with cancer or going through treatment. And so, I mean, you know, some of these things are temporary and some will kind of linger on for a while. You know, or the chemo brain where you forget everything.
Yes.
God knows that this is like, it is so real. It's unbelievable. I will forget what I ate this morning. It's bad. But it you know, it's part of the process. And so you have to kind of learn to adjust to all of these changes and things that are going on with you, because you'll actually never be the person you were prior to that diagnosis, no matter how you look at it. Physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, none of that. You'll never be the same person.
Yes. Would you say that person, that person died inside, and you, because with the medicine going into your veins, you're literally dying, trying to fight to win. And you have to just be able to let go of what was and say, okay, God, what are you trying to do?
What is it you want me to do? Right. Okay, I'm here now. I can only look up because you made me sit down.
Yes.
You made me sit down, you know, and sometimes it's kind of weird because you don't expect situations like this. It has a way of bringing things full circle. Like, you may have been trying to get my attention in some other way, and Chanel wasn't paying attention because I'm too busy trying to do this, to do that. And so it's like, okay, well, I got one way to make sure you're going to listen, you know, and so pretty much how it is.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk about your relationship and your faith and how you had to take that to another level. And we know that cancer is the gift that keeps on giving, but we know that God is able to break all of that. So we're going to listen to Tasha Cobbs with Break Every Chain. Okay, Facebook. I don't know if Chanel can still hear me because I think he has her on hold. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Oh my goodness, this is a good story. Angela, you said my grandmother and your mother was what? Did they both have cancer as well? Is that what you're talking about? Hey Tina, I am a superwoman. Thank you, Terrence. Hey Dion, hey you guys. We are on break right now, so I thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, share the video, invite others in on the video. We're talking about breaking the cycle. And breaking the cycle basically is dealing with, when I talked to Chanel and she told me she was a fourth generation, so her great-grandmother, her grandmother, her mother, and then her, all with breast cancer. And the one thing that I can say is all of those women survived. So cancer, we know, and we keep saying it's not a death sentence, but you have to take action. If you already knew, she knew that it ran in her family. So at 34, she was already getting mammograms. She was already getting them. And so she said life happened, and in 2012, she moved to a different state, and then she ended up falling back, not getting her mammograms. And then the fall, going into the fall of 2017 is when she found her lump. But she found it at stage 2, which is still an early stage, enough for you to get in and have options for you to do something about it. So I'm just encouraging you all to talk to people in your family. We know with the African American community, the generations before us and the generation before them, they kept a lot of secrets. We are breaking the silence. We're not keeping secrets anymore. Why? Because our health is at stake. People are dying. People are dying from all type of diseases, not just cancer. I mean, you have diabetes, you have high blood pressure, you have heart disease, people are having strokes. It's just so many other diseases out here where we don't have to die from these diseases. We don't even have to get sick from these diseases. If we know that these diseases run in our family, there are some things that we can do ahead of time. Prevention is way better than treatment. Prevention is way better than treatment. So if we can prevent these diseases from happening, then we don't have to worry about treatment. Treatment, they're not getting to the root cause of the disease. They're putting a Band-Aid on it. They're giving you medicine. They're your guinea pig to see what works, what doesn't work. And ultimately, it may work, it may not. But we don't have to go that route. And this is the purpose of us talking about breaking the cycle. So if you had cancer in your family, and if you are third, fourth generation, and you got a generation coming after you, you should be schooling that generation. Like I have 4 daughters, and they know exactly what mommy does. And I have told them, look, we're going to start getting breast exams early, start touching your breast early, so you can become familiar with your breast. Don't be afraid. If you feel anything, go in and get it taken care of, you guys. Oh my goodness. Let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, Terrence says what? He says, I mentioned you at a, I mentioned you at a 82-year-old lady today who told me she was a cancer survivor living in Wheaton. Wow. See what I'm saying? 82 years old. Come on now. We can do this. We can do this. Angela says, I'm sorry I hit the button too soon. My grandmother and my mother, and it skipped a generation. Well, let's talk about them hidden secrets. Let's talk about them, because we know that there's a lot of them. There's a lot of hidden secrets, Angela. I'm telling you, this generation does not like to talk about it. Tina Hobbs, I am a superwoman. She says, oh my goodness, talking about secrets, especially mental health. And you know what? That mental health one is a scary one, because, you know, you have these people around your family, you don't know what's going on with them mentally, and then we hiding that person somewhere, and we telling them, oh, don't mess with Uncle Johnny, you know, Uncle Johnny just a little slow. No, Uncle Johnny's crazy. Uncle Johnny is dealing with stuff, and people need to know it, especially if I'm bringing my kids around Uncle Johnny. Like, we need to stop doing that. We need to stop. Terrence says, my mom and my mother both are breast cancer survivors. Yes, I didn't know that. Oh my goodness. Come on, Jesus. Jesus is a healer. When I tell you he's a healer. Yes. Thank you all for tuning in. Oh my goodness. If you have not already liked and shared this video, please like and share this video. Chanel is from Texas. She used to live here. We're getting ready to come back. She used to live here in Chicago. She moved to Texas. She works for the post office. Been there 11 years. 4th generation cancer. Great grandmother, grandmother, mother, and now her. She sat and watched her mother up front. Everything that she was going through. And then God was positioning her, and she didn't know it. He was positioning her for such a time as this for her to go through it. So she was able to see it firsthand. Terrence says our community is notorious for keeping secrets. It's time to have conversations. Yes, it is. So you know why I had to have you in the book. Oh my goodness. I am so excited about this. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. Hold on, you guys. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited about the book. When we come back, I'm gonna talk about it really quick. You guys, if you haven't already heard, I'm a part of this fabulous collaboration with Coach T, Terrence Lethbridge. Yes, position for purpose. God, you just don't know. God be positioning us for purpose. We just gotta pay attention. We have to get in tune with Him. We gotta get quiet. We have to eliminate the noise, eliminate all the residue that's going on around us, and we have to hear His voice. Okay, we're getting ready to come back. And we are back. This is Lady ReShell of Warriors Talk here on UBM Radio, your station for faith, talk, and music. And we are talking to my special guest all the way from Texas, Chanel Evans-Williams, and we're talking about breaking the cycle. Before I go back to Chanel, I just want to talk about this new project that I have coming up. It's called You Are Unstoppable, Moving from Past to Purpose with Coach T, Terrence Lethbridge, and he is all about being unstoppable. And I was able and fortunate to jump on this project, and it's 6 of us, 6 authors, and we're all telling our stories about how we move from our past to our purpose. And my 2 chapters in the book talk about position for purpose, how God actually positioned me for purpose. I talk about dying inside, and I talk about my reason to live. And so I want you guys to grab a hold of this book. We are going to have our book launch and luncheon. It's going to be May 19th, and I'm encouraging you to get the early bird special. So the early bird special ends on April 1st. The early bird special, you can get in there for $25. You can meet all of the authors, you can ask questions, and you can hear their stories on how they move from past to purpose. If you miss that early bird special by April 1st, then the price is going to go up to $40. So I want you to get in. We do have a VIP package for $50 that includes the book as well. So you can get in and get the luncheon. You can get the book for $50. So you can go to bit.ly/pass to purpose, and you can hear how we were able to move from past to purpose. And I want you guys to get the book. If you're not able to show up, then I want you to grab a hold of that book. You can also go to our page. We have a page on Facebook, and it's called Moving from Past to Purpose as well. So I'm excited. Chanel.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you for holding on. Again, we are talking to Chanel Evans-Williams, and she's calling all the way from Texas, and she's talking about how she is a 4th generation of breast cancer, and we are talking about breaking the cycle. And we left off talking about spirituality and the relationship with God. And I'm wondering, because I know a lot of people, when we go through it, sometimes you have to get quiet, and sometimes you have to, we have those why me moments, and I'm not sure if you had a why me moment, but I'll talk about our relationship going to the next level. So what was that like for you?
Well, I like to think that I'm a pretty spiritual person anyways, and, I always pray daily and have my time with God and stuff like that. So it was easy to kind of incorporate that and continue to do what I normally would do. And then I just trust God. I believe Him to be a healer, and I know how good He is. I've seen what He can do.
Yes.
And so I just stood on that. And that alone was enough for me. As far as the why me moment, no. I really didn't see a point in asking or questioning. There's always a purpose to everything that we go through.
Yes.
And I just figured it's going through the refiner's fire, and something better is going to come out of it. You get a different perspective and you look at things differently. And so maybe this was just a time that I needed to kind of shift my perspective. Like you said, kind of move to the next level of things and be still and humble myself and practice that humility and things like that. So that's pretty much where I am as far as, spiritually. I just trust God.
And that's all you can do. You have to trust him. I mean, with all of the support system that you have around you, the only person that really can heal you is God. So you have to lean on him. You embrace your support system, but you have to lean on him for your ultimate healing.
Absolutely.
So we also talked about in the comments I saw, we was talking about secrets, like hidden secrets, how the generations before us, how they all hide things and we don't talk about things. And so one of the things that we want to do as far as breaking the cycle is to start talking, start communicating, and opening up our mouths about. Yes.
We've got to share experiences, and I think that's why, after I got the diagnosis, I did post it. I'm like, okay, well, one way to let everybody know it wasn't going to make all the calls, but also it's more or less, to get yourself checked out, listen to your body. If you notice something different, ask questions. We need to talk about it. We need to share things. You've got generations behind you. Most of us probably have children. Whether it's sons, daughters, boys can have breast cancer as well. So they're not exempt from this. It's just important to talk about things instead of keeping things a secret. Cancer also runs on my dad's side of the family as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my grandmother had astrocytoma, which is where it starts on the spine, or usually starts in the brain and works its way down to the spine. But in her case, it was kind of reversed. Started in the lower base of the spine and worked its way up, so it eventually caused paralysis and everything. And it was really, really painful to watch. It was terrible to see, but by the time I found out what was really going on with her, it was so late, and the cancer had just pretty much spread all over her body, so it really wasn't a whole lot you could do with that. And even still, most of my family members probably still don't know what it is until I just said it. You know what I mean? And my grandmother's deceased for some years now, but it's just, I've never really understood why, when somebody's battling something, they want to keep it a secret. Like, what's the big secret?
That's true.
Why? Are we ashamed? We didn't ask for this, So, why? You could save somebody or help somebody.
Yes.
So, I just feel like you just got to speak out. And I'm just one of those anyway. So, I'm just going to tell you what it is.
And I
got to take care of yourself.
Exactly. And the key word you mentioned was save. You can save somebody. You can save yourself just by asking questions. I think a level of shame does come with a diagnosis, because some people, the older generation, I don't know so much about our generation, but the older generation, sometimes they'll say, oh, if you're sick, then what did you do? You did something wrong. So, you're being punished for something you did wrong. So a lot of times they wasn't going to say what they was going through. They didn't want anybody to have pity on them. So they just faked it until they made it, until they couldn't make it anymore. And you're like, are you seriously, it's wasting precious time that you could have been getting it taken care of, or you could have the support of your family helping you. It plays on your mental as well. We talk about having mental stability going through cancer. It really plays with your psyche. If you're not careful, you could walk away crazy. You could walk away insane. You can have some leftover residue that leaves you in a world to where you don't want to deal with anybody. You may close everybody off. So talk about how you managed to just stay sane through everything that was going on, knowing what you had previously saw before you, and now, okay, I have this diagnosis.
Right. My mom was really instrumental in me kind of keeping my mind right, and busy and occupied, and she'd nag any other way. She was here with me while I went through chemo, which was probably the hardest part of that. Of everything, I think, in my opinion. So she made sure that I ate right. We would, talk, and it helps to have someone who's actually been through what you're going through to kind of talk to, because they can identify with where you're coming from. Not to say that you can't talk to someone who hasn't. It's just that I think the level of understanding is just different, because most times when you say cancer to somebody, they know what it is, but they don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just a normal word. But how deep it really gets, I don't think most people really understand.
And then most people associate it with death. So if they have,
so then there's that negative negative thing. And so it makes it, and truthfully, it makes it kind of difficult because early on I did struggle with that. Like I didn't really, other than like having my mom, I really didn't have a lot of people to talk to. And then you think those people that, you were really good friends with, your good girlfriend that you could talk to about everything, you know what I'm saying? When it came down to this, it wasn't that type of situation.
Yes.
Actually, you find yourself feeling like a leper or something.
Yes.
Like where you're all alone. Like nobody. It's like they've thrown you to the wayside. I don't know, because some people don't know how to deal with what's going on with you. They don't know what to say, or because they don't understand,
right?
Or they just don't care. And so emotionally, it kind of takes a toll on you because you're already going through a lot, and this is the time that, even when you're an independent, strong person and you really typically don't need people, this is one of those times in life when you do need people.
When you need people. That is so true.
And you don't, and you realize how much you really do need people. So it's just, having my faith, reading my word, having some good positive people, having my mother around, and then I craft. So it's something to keep me busy, whether I'm painting or something, I'm doing something to keep my mind busy.
And if you don't have those things, then you by yourself, your mind starts to wander, and it takes you places that you don't want to go. So so it's important to have somebody around who you can vent to, and you can say, this is what I'm feeling, so that you know that you're not crazy. I'm not crazy. No, it's normal to have those feelings. It's normal to be going through what you're going through. And what better person to listen to you is somebody who has been through it, that can identify with what you've been through. So it's important to have that. So I encourage anybody who may be going through that, may need to get some help. Get some help. Don't be afraid to get some help. Don't be afraid to get some help.
You don't have to deal with this alone.
You don't. We don't have to. We don't have to. So tell me, thinking about just going through the mental part of it, it plays on your psyche. And it also, we talked about, reconstructive surgery, coming back, wanting to feel whole. What was it like for you intimately with your husband? Was it like, were you nervous? Were you like, okay, because we know men are visual. Now I'm missing body parts. Is he not going to find me sexy? I don't feel sexy.
It's so awkward. I honestly, it is so awkward right now. I just had my mastectomy in January, so I'm still in the process of recovering from that. So all of it is so very new. I make jokes and different little things like that, to make myself feel better when I look in the mirror, and sometimes I don't really think he finds my jokes very funny. But we sleep together every single night. But as far as like really being intimate with each other, the first time we had a conversation about it was about a week ago. Since I've gotten diagnosed, which was really odd. And he just asked me, like, well, babe, I've been wondering, are you ever even in a mood? You know what I'm saying? It was like he tried to do it in a subtle way, to ask. And so I was absolutely transparent as I could possibly be with him. It's like, me personally, honestly, I really don't have a drive. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm still doing infusions every 21 days with the Herceptin and the Perjeta. And, after they extracted the lymph nodes, we took 16, 8 of them still were cancerous.
Wow.
So even with the radiation, I'm going to put them back in chemo. But what they opted to do with me was put me on Zoladex. So I'm getting this injection every 28 days in my stomach, which is a hormonal chemotherapy. So this is kind of like where we are. And basically what Zoladex is like Bluefront for anybody that's ever had endometriosis or deal with anything like that, or hormonal suppression. This is what this is. So, it's stopping my body from producing estrogen and stuff like that, because that's what feeds my cancer cells. So I don't have a drive. It's like, I don't even think about it. I guess that's probably why I craft so much. So I still have to think about it. But then I'm like, we've got to talk about it because I still have a person.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who has needs too. But it's just been very patient with me.
And you need somebody that's that's patient with you, and then he's up front so he can see everything that you're going through. So I think when men are right there and they see what you're going through, they can have, God will give them this level of patience to where when you're ready, then you're ready. You find other ways to be intimate.
Right.
Sometimes we think being intimate is only sexual, and you find other ways to be intimate, whether it be you going out to dinner, or you going out for a walk, or you at home cuddled up watching your favorite movie. Yeah, it's different ways to be intimate, and it actually takes your intimacy to a new level, way past the sexual part. When the sexual part has ended, we're still intimate. We still have this connection. It's more stronger than a bond. It's stronger than that the sexual intimacy, which is only going to last a couple of minutes. So once that's over with, guess what? Then we're still here. We're still bonding. We're still into each other. We still love each other. He's still courting me. He's calling me. We're having conversations. He's leaving little notes. It's just little things that you could do. It's the little things, that makes it all worthwhile. So having a partner that's understanding is very important. So I want to talk about, it is very important. It's very important to moving forward so you can, get used to your new normal. Get used to, okay, honey, this is where we're going to be. So you have somebody that can help you pick out, okay, babe, what size do you want me to be, This is your chance to do something different, to think outside of the box and say, you know what, cancer tried to take me, but he didn't get the best of me, so guess what? I'm about to live my best life. And you do that. You live your best life. And to have somebody there to live your best life with, it's just over the top. It just makes it so much better. So it makes it better. So let's talk about, since we want to make life better, let's talk about moving forward. So now here you are, you completed chemo, you're done with that, and you're in the midst of radiation. You're waiting, and so once that's over with, right now you already found something to do. Because let me tell you guys, I'm gonna post some of your pictures too. She talked about her crafts. And oh my goodness, they're not just crafts. These are nice pieces that she has put together. And let me just tell you, I have an annual event in October, so I will be ordering some pieces to go on my tables for my event. So talk about Nellie's Crafts and Creations.
Awesome. I've always liked crafting and arts and drawing, and I'm not a very good drawer, but painting and things like that, or stitching and sewing stuff together, I've always enjoyed that, and colors and vibrant. And so when you get caught up in life, you kind of get away from what you really like to do. Like with work, I work a lot of hours. I work 6-7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day. So that was pretty much my life. And so I didn't do any of the hobbies or things that were fulfilling to me, because I'm always working. And so since I've been home and, I've got plenty of free time, it's like, okay, well, why not do something that I enjoy doing? And so it started with me making a quilt for my mom.
Okay.
And since then it's kind of expanded into doing T-shirts with vinyl, customizing glass, making centerpieces, painting, decoupage, just anything that's artsy. I'm loving it, and that's just what I'm trying. I've even tried etching, which is pretty cool. That's what I do to keep me going, and they're turning out so really nice. I want to share with other people, and so it's just where Nellie's Custom Crafts and Creations comes from, and eventually I'm hoping that this is something that can take me to another level where maybe I don't have to go back to the post office, I can be independent and work for myself. I'm looking at this as an opportunity to pursue a dream.
Yes.
And do something that I enjoy doing. And so God opened a door, even though, the circumstances are crappy, but there's always a door open.
Yes.
Somewhere, there's always something good in it. And so this is my good in it.
Yes, and you know what? You have to have that type of attitude, walking away from cancer. You have to have the attitude like, you know what? Something good is going to come out of this. I'm not going through all of this for no reason. God has a purpose for me. And some people have been able to find their purpose through their cancer journey. I was fortunate to be one of those people, to be able to find my purpose through my cancer journey. And I wouldn't be sitting here today. If I didn't go through what I went through, there would be no Warriors Talk. I wouldn't have a need for Warriors Talk.
Exactly.
You know, I wouldn't. I would just be going about my life and just thinking about me. God says, no, it's not all about you. You know, I need you to service my people. I need you to get out and get them information. So tell them how to get in touch with Nellie's Customs Crafts and Creations. Like, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Nellie's Customs Crafts and Creations. I have a page, and then I also have a website, which is also Nellie's Customs Crafts and Creations.
Okay.
.com. So, yeah, look me up.
Awesome. So Angela Gilliam says, congratulations on completing chemo.
Thank you, Angela. That was a battle, girl.
Yes, and
I'm glad that's over.
She knows because she's a survivor as well. So Chanel, I appreciate your testimony. I'm glad that you took the call. You said yes, and you wasn't afraid to share your journey. Give the listeners some words of wisdom about breaking the cycle.
If there's one thing that I can part with everybody is if we don't talk about things and share information, how can we expect people to evolve or to grow? It's just like a plant with seeds. If you don't water it, it's not going to grow. So when we talk about extended families and our sisters, aunts, cousins, brothers, nieces, nephews, whatever, to keep them safe or to keep them informed, we need to share things and we need to share information. And so we need to share when we're going through things. I mean, some things are private, but through it all, there's somebody that you can help and you can save. So I just say share information. Awareness is a big deal, and we all need to get involved.
We all need to get involved. I like that. And so here are, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate your testimony, Chanel. I wish you well on the rest of your journey because she's not done, y'all. She is in the midst of her journey, but she is testifying of the goodness of God. And you need to share your information. You don't have to wait until you're done with everything. You can share as you're going through the journey. It just makes it that much better. She's found her passion in her journey, one of her passions anyway. So I'm encouraging you to please go to Nellie's Custom and Creations and look at her beautiful work. It is awesome. So thank you so much, Chanel. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I love you.
You're welcome. So there are 3 ways that you can break the cycle. First of all, you need to recognize that there is a cycle that needs to be broken. We live in a world where we avoid a lot of things. So first, you recognize it. It says 1 in 2 males will be diagnosed with cancer and 1 in 3 females. So over their lifetime. So listen to the information, pass it on. The second way you can break the cycle is by breaking the silence. Communicate with your family so that you can know what's going on in your family. Increase your knowledge. The third way you can break the cycle is to reverse the cycle. Prevention is better than treatment. So take action. So those are 3 ways that you can break the cycle. So thank you for tuning in. Warriors, remember to keep thriving while surviving. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. I gotta go because somebody is coming behind me. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Join me next Monday at 7 p.m.